Welcome back here to the Mountain Morning Show. I am joined right now by Eric Bradshaw, who's the Rockport State Park Manager, as well as Eugene Swalberg, who is the Public Affairs Coordinator for Utah State Parks. Gentlemen, how are you doing this morning?
Very good.
Good. Thanks for making the time to come in.
You.
These guys were just casually fighting a fire right before they came in here, so so thanks for making the time to come in. We really appreciate it. Let's talk about this, what's happening over at Rockport State Park. Previously, there was talk of an algal bloom there. We're familiar with this because of something that kind of happens maybe on a yearly basis down at the Utah Lake. Let's talk about these algal blooms and why they are dangerous, and then let's fill us in on what's happening over at Rockport.
Well, first off, I'll let you talk about Rockport.
Well, so we were placed on an advisory 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So Summit County Health Department came in and tested, and they found, like it tested positive.
Okay.
Very small, isolated area, very small. And then, so we were placed on an advisory. Just if anyone saw it or came in or saw it, just to avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, the week after that, they tested all week and they couldn't find it. So we've been cleared from that. So we're no longer under an advisory at all.
So at Rockport right now, you guys are totally in the clear.
Yep,
boating,
clear.
swimming, fishing, all good there.
Yep. All activities were allowed before previously as well.
Okay, excellent. So you guys were more as just an advisory. Be cautious, be aware of the blooms if they are there. Report them if you see them. But as of right now, you guys are totally fine. Yes. Eugene, let's talk about this. It's a naturally occurring thing that happens in lakes and reservoirs all across the country, and it can get dangerous. But most of the time, it's very, very highly unlikely and unharmful, really. And
you're very right, correct, very correct. It's naturally occurring sometimes. I mean, even more often. I'm not Mr. Scientist on this stuff. Yeah. Sometimes there's some human behavior that causes that. Okay. With storm runoff and whatnot. But right, it's naturally occurring. And we don't want people to recreate in something that's going to be potentially harmful for them.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to let those folks know. But it's really the Department of Environmental Quality works very closely with the local health departments. The local health departments are the ones that are in charge of their area. And so with Rockport State Park, they have a local health department. They come out and test, and others test. And when there's levels that say, oh, things are starting to happen here, they let us know, and then they post advisories. And so, but much like what happens at Rockport State Park, maybe there is a bloom, but it's in an isolated area. You can still recreate in other areas, not
near that.
Not near that. Yeah. And so it's not like the whole lake. There's a small bloom. The sky is falling, we're in trouble. No, don't recreate in that area. Stay away from that, move on. I mean, there's lots of parallels you can say,
It's more precautionary than anything.
Absolutely.
Is really what it seems like.
But it can be harmful. I mean, we're not trying to downplay it. I mean, you keep your pets out of it. Don't, frolic and play and splash and like, woo, woo, I'm getting green. No, that's not good behavior. Go out and do that where the algae is not. You referenced Utah Lake earlier. That's a challenging lake, to be quite honest.
Absolutely.
There's a number of areas that are testing positive, and so that's a different story. And it's important for folks to say, well, if it happens at Utah Lake, it happens everywhere. Well, no, that's not true. Talk to the local folks; they'll let you know what's happening.
Absolutely, and I think the important thing here is to not kind of stir up a ton of panic with this. It's kind of more precautionary. It's on the side of the state parks taking aim for caution and just saying, hey, look, you are still welcome to recreate. We just don't want you to get harmed in any way. And as you said, the easiest way to resolve any of these fears is to just speak to the local park ranger and just ask. They have the most in-depth information about what's happening at their state park. You know what's going on at the lake. You're there every day. So let's talk about what's happening with Rockport right now. It's, as you said, it's the busiest time of the year for state parks here in Utah. We got the highest traffic. What does that mean for you guys at the state park, and how should people kind of recreate the area in a smart way?
Well, it's important to wear your life jacket, but then we have parking issues and stuff like that are coming up. But if like camping reservations, if you want to camp, we get a lot of calls like Friday afternoon. People want to camp.
Can we come later on in 20 minutes and get us on?
Yeah, definitely want to make a reservation beforehand. Like at least like a week
it's even
beforehand.
weeks, I would say. We were just discussing the fact that my family and I were looking to go to Rockport. 2 weeks out was booked, so it's a while. As we said, it's the busiest time of the year for the state parks. Pretty much every state park in Utah is going to have that same kind of booking situation, really.
Yeah.
So with Rockport, how can we better recreate that area? There's ways that you were talking about being smarter about ways that we enjoy the area, that we can do things differently. What are some of those things that we can be smarter about as we prepare to head out there and enjoy?
Well, make sure you have all the required equipment on your boat. You know, life jackets, fire extinguisher, throwable, things like that. That way, if a situation occurs, you can be prepared to handle that.
Excellent.
So
excellent. And Eugene, where can people go for more information regarding all of the state parks here in Utah?
Well, on our website, stateparks.utah.gov. We try to update it, constantly to keep it, fresh and with updated information, whether it be on an algal bloom or other issues that are happening in state parks. And we appreciate you talk about that. You're right, this is a busy time for us, and we'll let folks know that if they're good at planning, you can plan ahead. It's 16 weeks from the date of departure, which is the technical government term saying look out 4 months and say, hey, listen, I want to go to my favorite state park. I want to go to Rockport State Park. Kind of plan early, get on those reservations, and then that'll help you. Echo's a state park is a big deal for us also. It's also something that Chris is involved in. It's treated a little bit differently, and I can let Chris talk about it. But there's a number of wonderful recreational opportunities, up in this Park City area, and we encourage folks to utilize them. To be quite honest, is if they can adjust their schedules and maybe not go on Saturday afternoon, if they can go on a Wednesday or Tuesday evening, they're going to have fewer crowds. And I'm not going to say they're not going to have just as good a time as on Saturday. If they're looking to avoid some crowds, that might be helpful.
That might be the best option. Well, absolutely. It seems like the parks are great right now. As we said, Rockport is fully functional. Everything is completely open. No worries there at all. And before you panic about these algal blooms, just do a little bit of research. Ask the local state park ranger there. They'll have great information for you. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to come and sit with us here on the Mountain Morning Show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Head over to stateparks.utah.gov for more information. They'll have everything there. As Eugene said, they post news updates pretty much on a daily basis about what's going on state parks all across the state. So if you want more information for reservations, anything, head over to stateparks.utah.gov. We'll be right back right here on the Mountain Morning Show. Don't go anywhere.